I know, it's so fun.
I spent like $15 on all these sauces though. So who do I send that invoice?
For real.
Who do I send the invoice to?
Yeah.
Danny, Spicy Spice.
You can send that to me. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not to me.
I've got two that I'm actually pretty scared about. The other three, they're just really yummy.
I brought a palate cleanser.
I got a whole loaf. I got a loaf of bread.
I got water.
Yes, we did.
I figured the Sprite would help. You know.
Guys,
I watched Hot Ones on YouTube, so I think
you need bread.
I need bread.
Or the bread of life. The bread of life, huh? Yeah.
You what, Des? What did you watch in preparation for this?
The show about Hot Ones, the one that comes on YouTube.
Oh,
yeah. I watch it a lot. I'm a fan of that. So.
I can't handle the food noises on that show, man.
Can't handle who?
The food noises, like when people are eating.
That's one of the things I like about it. I like it.
Yeah, can we just mute ourselves?
Like when my dog.
Is this our first hot take?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is our first hot take. I noticed, when I was younger, that eating noises didn't bother me very much, but now that I'm like an older young adult, I am like not for it at all.
What's the worst thing to listen to somebody eat?
I'd say an apple is a pretty good contender. The initial bite, and then the
banana.
Oh yeah, that's true. You can hear their teeth hit because of the softness of the banana.
Yeah.
Try watching a senior citizen with no teeth eat a banana. That's the disgusting thing you've ever seen. The sound is very.
Hey, this is coming in hard here. The first hot take of the night.
Yeah, I was going to say. It kind of depends on the person. There are some people I'm not very annoyed by when they eat things.
Or soup. I don't like listening to people eat soup.
No. Can we talk about the Burger King commercial a couple years ago? And they had like it more you couldn't hear it, but it was visually like the worst. They had this like 10 out of 10 hot girl model, and she was like eating this Whopper. It was like Hardee's. Yeah.
I think it was like it's Hardee's.
I remember everything this game.
He knows exactly.
Visually, like I couldn't even.
That was gross.
No.
Turns out that's not a hot take. That's just
turns out everyone thinks it's gross. But I think it did what it was supposed to do. We are talking about it 5 years later. So
it's true.
Yeah. It did its job.
Yeah.
Jennifer, can you tell me why you're Spicy Spice? I forgot.
Because it's a really fun, hilarious play on words.
Were you like originally part of the Spice Girls?
I was one of the founding members of the Spice Girls. Yeah.
Can I get a refill or do I need to sit here right now?
I'm actually a really big fan of the Spice Girls. I had all of their albums and I know all of their names and I know every song. Don't judge me.
No, that was the first tape I ever bought.
I need somebody with a human touch. Hey, you always on the run. Gotta slow it down, baby. Gotta have some fun. I'm sorry.
No, why are you apologizing? That was the best thing of the day for me.
All right now.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Religious Spice. Yeah, that should be my name. I don't know.
It's spicy.
Well, hey friends, we're gonna get this party started, and so we're about 4 minutes in. We got a good crew with us, and so we're gonna start this party off right. And so for the uninitiated, kind of the idea of the evening is this: like we're gonna have some hot wings, we're gonna look at some hot questions, and we're gonna just see where the night goes. And so before we dive in, we have a fun group of pastors and leaders here with us. And so I just want to have them introduce themselves, and then we're going to dive into our wings. But Adam Musto, Sauce Boss, why don't you introduce yourself first, and then we'll go around the horn.
Hello, Internet friends. I'm Adam. I live in Kansas City, or about 30 minutes north of Kansas City in Kearney. Been friends with Danny for a little while, and I do okay with hot things, but I got a lot of hot takes for you, so I'm ready to go.
Is it
perfect, Kirk?
Okay.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, it's you.
I'm Ashley Morgan Kirk. I am a pastor at Resurrection here in Kansas City. My original and first ever email address was spicy2006@hotmail.com, which is very true of my personality. I'm a fierce female. I'm a fierce feminist. And I'm originally a redhead. So I bring all the fire, and I can't wait.
I love it. Jennifer, you are muted, so you hop in there.
Okay. Hey, I'm Jennifer. I'm a pastor in the Boot Heel of Missouri at thefunchurch.org. Yes. I've known Danny and Ashley and Adam for a little bit. Ashley is my other half. We are co-conspirators, creators, curators of the Instagram account Clergy Collar Project, where we celebrate women in ministry and clergy collars of all kinds. So check us out.
I love it. Nick.
Yeah, my name's Nick, and I'm the pastor of a brand new church just outside of Columbia, South Carolina, Emmaus Church. Former Methodist, still Methodist, but not. I mean, I guess that's how you'd say it. We have 3 kids, so I don't sleep ever. And I drink my chocolate milk with a spoon. I drink it 1 spoonful at a time. So that's all you really need to know about me.
All right, Des, what do you got for us?
All right. My name's Desmond Aliseya. I am a pastor in Gary, Indiana, pastor of Move Church. I met Danny at Target. We were both buying some Crocs, and he was like, "You look like a cool dude. You want to hop on this thing with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it. Chicken wings, you know." So I'm here. I'm ready to have a good time, man. Let's get into it.
I love it. That is 100% factual, and I wear those Crocs to bed every night. And so, hey, here's the deal, guys. We're gonna have these hot wings, and we're gonna talk about some hot questions. And so, to start off, just quickly, maybe 5 seconds, introduce your sauce. So I'm starting off with Schnucks medium buffalo. Adam, what do you got?
In the same family, I got cookies, wings, and things. Classic buffalo.
Okay, Ashley.
I'm going with an alternative approach. Mango LaCroix is my first sauce.
I like it.
Yep. I'm going with sour. I'm going to start with a lemon.
I think that hottest take of the night. I like that.
What?
Straight up old school Franks right here.
Frank. Love it. Des?
Are we introducing the wings or the sauce?
The sauce you got.
Oh, okay. So the first sauce is Slap Your Mama.
Oh, that sounds intense to start off with.
Sometimes you want to slap your mama.
It's a little heavy-handed.
So here's what we'll do, friends. We're going to take a bite, and then I'm going to throw up our first question on the screen. And Musto, once you digest this wing down your esophagus, you dive into the question. And the question is this: what are your hot takes on obligatory holidays?
All right, I'm ready. So I live in Kansas City, where Hallmark is. This is a very unpopular take. I think all obligatory holidays should be done away with. I think it feels forced and thus insincere. And the holiday or the sort of obligatory moment I would eliminate first is Pastor or Clergy Appreciation Month. Gotta go. You want to appreciate your pastor? Go to church. There it is.
That's a hot take. I like that. Ashley, what do you think? Obligatory holidays?
Hot take on obligatory holidays?
Yeah.
I think I agree with Musto that a lot of them are just to make money off of Hallmark cards and other things. However, I do think there are lots of really cool artists out there that create more like everyday cards and say more like, I don't know, amazing things and hard stuff like today really sucks and that there's nothing else to say. So I support those artists who do that. And I feel like that could help the card industry if they could just become a little more real. You know, I'm good with getting rid of all those holidays, but good luck with trying Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Okay, is it my turn?
If you got to take.
Yeah, because no, there should be more obligatory holidays, actually. No, I mean this in all like Christian love and charity. We're all pastors, but people in general are self-centered a-holes, and if they were not told to like,
We can cuss.
Spicy space.
like no, I think we need to have some things like set aside. Like if you didn't actually have a Mother's Day, how many people would tell their mother they love them? You know, if we didn't have a appreciate your doctor day or whatever, like how many people would actually do that? And so I do think like, what is this? What am I going to do without it? I get, yeah. I mean, I get, what did he say? What am I going to do without this? The three.
You weren't pointing at me.
You're not going to have any notepads if we don't have Pastor Appreciation Month. But no, I mean, I get that. It's weird when you're on the receiving end, but I think in general, having a culture of like appreciating people is a good thing, and that there should be more of them.
I just find it coerced. That's all. I don't want
I'm with you.
Appreciation. I want it to be sincere.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think it's commercialized and blah blah blah, but I do think the sentiment is good.
When you send me a friendship card just on a rando day, I'll accept it as like
one point.
Yeah,
Obligatory holidays don't stop people from sending random nice cards. You can do that anyway.
Yeah,
right. You can do that anyway. I think sometimes we're uncomfortable with obligatory holidays because we think we're leaving somebody out. But see, that's scarcity. That's scarcity. The goal shouldn't be, I don't want anybody to not feel special. No, the goal should be, I want everybody to feel special. So start more obligatory holidays for people who feel like they're being left out. What we need are like obligatory holidays for nurses with only green eyes. Like we need detailed obligatory holidays. Like we need Mother's Day, you know, one day of the month. It's only for moms who have like 3 kids, and then we'll have one for moms with 1 kid, and we'll just make sure everybody has one, right? That's the goal.
Des, you got the final take on this. What do you got for us?
I think they're stupid. We should get rid of them. I don't see the need. I don't think they're necessary. Here's the thing: if we're going to say 365 days of the year, one day we're going to celebrate moms, dads, dogs, people who walk with a limp on the right side of their body. What about the other days of the year? So you're only valuable that one day of the year. So now I have an excuse to be a jerk to you all throughout the year, but Mother's Day, I love you. Then no, it doesn't make any sense to me. I would get rid of all of them.
All right. Hey, I think we're off to a great start here. And so
I want out. Y'all crazy.
Well, we might go down to 5 here in a couple of seconds, but so that's kind of our first question. We're going to go into the second one, which is this. And so before we get that, actually, I got Sriracha, 2,500 Scovilles going into the second one. Musto, what do you got?
I'm with my man Nick. I got the Franks ready to go.
I'm choosing from random ones. Green jalapeno pepper sauce.
Ooh, random is always a bold strategy. What do you got, Moxley?
Raw red.
Raw red. That would be a horrible name for a hot sauce.
The wings of the boot heel.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Des, what do you got?
I've got Scotty O'Holly, the ghost sauce. So it's supposed to be pretty intense here.
That sounds hot.
It does.
Well, hey, we're going to go in reverse order since, Des, you ended us. I just want you to share, after you take a bite of your ring, a recent COVID crisis you've had. Personal, funny, you lost something, you had a nervous breakdown. Share that after your wing.
That was hot. That was really hot. The chicken wing is so good, but the sauce is so hot. I want to keep chewing.
If you keep talking while you're chewing, it's great.
But oh my God. So me and my wife are both working from home. We're bivocational. For the unchurched, that means we work and we pastor church. And our kids are all at home too. So we have 3 kids and we're homeschooling, e-learning, or whatever. I don't know, man. I think the crisis that we ran out of food one day. My wife typically goes to the grocery store every weekend, but one particular week she had to go into her office for work, So she didn't make it to the store like one Friday, and I was there with the kids, and they wanted pancakes. The pancakes were not there. There's nothing scarier than 3 small children who really want pancakes, who have their heart set on pancakes, but there are no pancakes. Have you ever seen the Gremlins, the movie? Like when water drips on them? That's what happened in my house. I didn't have any pancakes, man, and it scared the heck out of me.
Yeah.
All right.
My turn?
Oh yeah, hop in, Nick.
Oh, this whole thing's a freaking crisis. We planted a church in January. Come on, you gotta laugh about that. Half of our existence has been virtual. And one of the frustrating things is like we've spent a lot of time talking about how the last thing we want to be is just a worship service. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard to do that in any sort of meaningful way right now, where it feels like, a lot of what we are it's a worship service. One of the cool things is like all these random people have been kind of doing a devotional for the church every single day. So that's kind of helped, but I don't know. We feel in a lot of ways it's like our hands are tied. I mean, it's just one of those things we kind of have to wait out, and it's really frustrating. I'm with you. We got 3 kids at home too, and that's insanity. All these people talking about how lonely they are. I get it. I feel for you, but dear Lord Jesus, I would love to be lonely right now.
I don't like kids right now. Every time I see a kid in the street, I get angry.
Not mine. I probably like yours. I don't like mine.
Yeah. Jennifer, have you had a crisis yet?
I mean, I'm with Nick. The whole thing has been a crisis. I feel like what hasn't been a crisis? I mean, I think we're all in ministry, and so there's been lots of stuff that has been kind of upended, and we've had to figure out in different ways. But yeah, I kind of second the whole alone time thing. I do feel definitely empathy for people who are by themselves and quarantining alone. I haven't really had a moment alone. I've been very fortunate that my parents have been able to come up and watch my daughter so I can work, but it's either like I'm either with them or with her or like here, Zoom meeting. And so like this weekend I had a minute to use some hedge trimmers outside for a while. It was my first moment alone in 8 weeks or whatever that was. And
I thought we were about to be on a true crime episode right there. You're like, I got some hedge clippers.
It was actually like, I actually felt like a lot of power. It was very dangerous, and they are very small now. We have hardly any bushes around our house. That went a little crazy. I'm sure like our neighbors were like, oh gosh, she's cracked. I was out there because I have basically worn pajama pants for the last 2 months. And so I'm out there in my pajama pants.
10 more minutes, guys. 10 more minutes.
Yeah. Anyway, but I felt a lot better, and it was cheaper than therapy. So.
Yeah. Ashley, what about you?
So we moved during this, like bought our first house, like this huge deal, like had to sign and keep our pins because they were afraid, our realtor couldn't be there. And it was like a whole thing. But that's not even the crisis part. The crisis part is I'm an insane person. And every time we move anywhere, I'm like, got to be out of boxes in 48 hours. And for some people, right? I know. I have to be convinced to sleep. Before I was in ministry, I was an interior design major. So like, space matters to me. Like I just cannot stand being in boxes at all. So I was a little more sane this time, but like I don't relate at all to the like, oh, I finished Netflix like feeling, because my work has just like been crazy, and then also like moving in. So like I definitely hit a wall about 2 weeks ago, and I was like folding laundry, and my husband comes in, and I was like, I don't know how we're going to do life, blah, blah, blah. But like, I lost it, man. Like I had a mid-COVID crisis. I cried it out. I was a lot better after. But it's just been a weird time.
I think we talked during that. Didn't we talk? Yeah, she was like, it's a mid-COVID. I'm having a mid-COVID crisis.
I just want to say my mouth is on fire right now. I've had to blow my nose twice because that sauce is really hot.
Well, you've had a secondary COVID crisis.
I don't have
Adam,
COVID though.
See, all mine are like these next one even is like pretty chill. The last two though, this is gonna be bad.
It gets intense for my next one. So
I don't know about these.
I got a loaf of bread. I'm gonna eat the whole loaf of bread after I eat this.
Hey, Nick, I called for bread and somebody brought me some.
I'm telling you, it'll fix it. Bread or milk. That's what.
Oh
you're
yeah,
gonna eat.
I got some whole milk too because I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
Did you say just somebody brought you some?
Somebody brought me some more gin. I don't know who. Thank you.
Carrier pigeon.
Musto, what do you got for us? You have a crisis yet? My birthday was on Easter, and this was the first Easter of my church, amazing church. And I looked it up, and the next time my birthday is on Easter is like 2093, so I'll probably be long gone. So I spent Easter pondering my own mortality.
Oh.
You gotta like take your vitamins.
I am dying over here.
Well, hey, Des,
get the man some milk. Des, you need milk and bread.
Before we die, I actually have one for you. I'll share my COVID crisis really quick. I found out I got married in December, and I spilled coffee grounds on the stove just a few weeks ago, like several months into marriage, and I found out that my wife and I have very different cleanliness standards, and we spent 2 days talking about that, and that was an important conversation. But man, it took COVID for me to find out I might not be very clean. So, but hey, Des, I got a comment for you real quick. Someone said they'll donate $50 to the charity of your choice if you take a big swig of that hot sauce.
Of this one?
Oh my gosh.
If you die, we're all pastors, and we can do your funeral right here, right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
get the man some bread.
I don't know who you are, but we want to hold you to that. So
I got the charity for you. Emmaus Church SC. There's
yeah, that's your designated charity.
My tears are burning. That's how hot this is. My tears are on fire.
Well, hey, Des, we're gonna let you go last on this next question.
I was going to ask anyway. I don't know.
My next sauce is akamiso. What do you have, Adam? And this is about 116,000 Scovilles. But what do you have? I got Diablo sauce from the Bell. I like it. Kirk?
Isn't Diablo Spanish for
a whale?
Devil. Sí, señor. Okay, so I have habanero and mango pepper sauce and chipotle and habanero pepper sauce. I'll do whichever one anybody wants me to do. They both are habanero, so chipotle or mango.
Thank you, Barbara Lynn. I don't know you, but I'm praying for you. I can't even see straight. I don't even know what your name is. I don't know what's happening right now.
Barbara.
That's my mom.
Barbara. Hey, Barbara. Hey.
How accurate is her avatar, Danny?
Jamie Lee says mango. What do you got, Jennifer? What do you got?
Oh, ginger, straight ginger. Yeah, it is. It's like 1 million Scovids.
Or Scovilles. No one knows which one it is.
COVID. COVID. It's 1 million COVID. Oh, probably can't say that.
Cunningham, what do you got?
So this is actually something I made, believe it or not. It's a little Carolina mustard base. Down in Carolina, barbecue is mustard, not ketchup. So
I can dig it.
That's what that is right there.
And Des, what do you are you taking a step down to blue cheese, or what are you rolling?
No, man, we're gonna keep this thing going good. I got Scoville, however you pronounce it, hot sauce rockin' red. So this is my number 3. What is happening right now? Why are you all shortchanging me like this?
So hey, as you guys take a bite of this wing, your question is just this, and so this takes a little bit more of a serious time. Cheers, take a bite of your wing. But where can we find God in the midst of COVID, or as I would say it, like in the midst of the suck? Where do you find God? Which might be in the sauce or the ginger you're currently eating. Oh my God.
Which one did you eat, Danny? What did you just eat?
Oh, I got akamiso. I got a wing, some stuff. I burnt the crap out of my wings.
You did.
Ashley, you start us out in this question.
Oh my gosh. Okay, where do we find, what's the question? Where can we see God in the midst of COVID? Well, I would say this is one of those things. Do you think that we would have been connecting, right, across denominations, across states, to do something ridiculous and to talk about God with other people online? No, no, because we're in-person people sometimes, but it's cool to be online and to, I think that that's a good thing. There's so many people. I work with high schoolers. Gosh, they are online more than they're ever in person. So that's good. And then I think also, just to quote like some awesome theologian, I don't know, it's been too long since I've been at seminary, but anyway, look for the good, like look for the people who are doing the good, who are
Mr. Rogers.
Is it Mr. Rogers? Well,
best theologian of all.
Yeah.
What is it? What's the quote? I'm really bad at it.
It's like look for the helpers.
Yeah.
He's Presbyterian, I think. Nick, you could try that next.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Hot take.
That was great. Oh.
Popcorn Jennifer.
Oh, did you say that? Did I miss it? Sorry.
Did you bring popcorn to eat?
Dude, no, I don't have any popcorn.
Oh, okay.
I have been cleansing my palate though with chocolate chips, which is
That's what ginger is for. It's to literally cleanse your palate, and that was what you just had.
Yeah. But then when you eat a chunk of it, you need chocolate chips. No, where have I seen God in the midst of this? I mean, I feel like it's been a really cool opportunity for people who haven't been involved in missions to kind of jump on board. I mean, all the people who have been like making masks and stuff, I mean, 90% of them have never, come to an event or, led another kind of mission team, but they're like, hey, I can make 1 million masks in my basement, and who can I donate them to? And that's been really cool, just kind of seeing other options. I shouldn't say they haven't been involved, but you know what I mean. It's kind of provided other avenues for people to use different gifts, and that's been really cool. I mean, also all the online stuff has been like, kind of provided some other opportunities for people who are good at this kind of thing to then kind of be a part of the church mission work. So
yeah, looks like we lost Nick. Am I seeing that right?
Yeah, I think he went to go check out the Presbyterian church.
Yeah, he got an interview.
He said on the text he's going to restart his computer.
I love it. So, hey, while he goes, Des, are you back in commission? You got an answer for this?
Man, the room is spinning right now. When I tell you, the room is spinning. Okay? Finding God in the midst of COVID. I think in very simplistic ways, for me, being able to see my church and other churches really connect with the Father in a way that I think Sunday to Sunday church can kind of get in the way of true relationship. You get busy as a pastor. You got to make sure this is done, kids ministry, make sure the doors are open, make sure everything is kind of functioning. But since we've had to pause a little bit and take a Selah, we've been able to really get back in tune. I think that we've turned from Martha, who was busy in doing the work, to Mary, who are just sitting at the feet of Christ, and I'm loving it, man. So you can see Christ all around you. Now we're able to really notice him and pay attention.
Killing it.
Yeah.
That was great.
I'm dying, bro. I'm dead. I'm Lazarus right now. Just Lazarus, come forth. I'm dead. My mouth is gonna fall off my face in a minute.
Wasn't it Jesus who said, "Die to yourself" or something?
Whoever, I can't think.
Not by vehicle hot.
That was
probably for more than $50.
It was. I think that was also Mr. Rogers. Actually,
I think Mystical said it too. I'm not sure.
Hey Nick, welcome back. What do you got?
Y'all kick me out? What'd I say? What'd I do? Really?
It got too spicy for a second. We weren't sure what to do.
A little too spicy.
What are we even talking about? Because my computer froze. It was great. It was wonderful.
Where can you see God in the midst of in COVID, in the suck? Where have you seen God?
Man, human beings are so freaking creative. Like, just unbelievable creative. Like John Krasinski.
Yeah.
All these people who, and again, you don't see this in your mainline media or whatever, but you start looking and it's like all the unbelievably creative things that have been coming out through this, whether it's Christian or not. I'm just like, it's God. I mean, it's just the unbelievable creativity. They hosted a prom, for high school seniors. I love that. I love that. To me, Easter was really easy for me this year. To just see it, like to point to it, for our people. It's like, look what's going on, but look, life's happening anyway. It's like it's trying to shut everything down, but like life's happening anyway. So for me, I think I'm bored. Don't get me wrong. I'm tired of my people. I'm frustrated, but like I'm more convinced than ever. Like resurrection's true. I'm just seeing life like all over the place. So I've laughed more. I have laughed more during this than ever. Just seeing some of the things people are doing. So
I want to laugh, but it hurts my face too because it's so hot right now.
Yeah. Your face is hurting all over.
I feel like I should tag on to Nick because I did say everyone is an a-hole, but I think also
that's true. No doubt.
I think people are the worst, and I also think they're the best. So I do think you're right. The creativity has been amazing.
People rock.
They do. I know.
Yeah, and I would say the opportunity to talk to people like you guys. Like I don't always I'm not the best at reaching out, and COVID has made me have to be more intentional. Kind of even to what Dez's point, like the Martha or the Mary, right? How are you kind of engaging in the situation? So, has anyone not gone?
I can go quick.
Hit it.
I was doing a little Facebook creeping on my boy Nick. I took a shot, so now I want to build him up. And he was saying, I think it was a devotion intro or something, that sometimes the more you get used to something, the more you take it for granted, right? The more familiar something becomes, the less we appreciate it. And I think I've seen God in even just simple things, like my sister and her family and my stepmom came up to celebrate Mother's Day belatedly. And it was like the highlight of the week. This thing that normally it'd be like, oh, what time we got to eat? And all,
right.
Not getting it over with, but I mean, we were counting down the days. So I would say appreciating things more. You don't take things for granted as much. And I think people's resilience, kind of what y'all were saying with being creative and stuff. And you just, you appreciate people surviving and doing, getting by day. And I would say I'm definitely taking less things for granted now, for sure.
Can I just tag on real quick for 5 seconds? There's a proverb that I normally recite to myself that says familiarity breeds content. And so when you get used to something, you kind of get based in it and there's no real excitement there. You kind of get settled and that contentment kind of just sits and resides and resonates with you. But like you said, Adam, this time kind of being able to unplug, even the normal has become exciting again. Relationships are thriving again. You're looking at your kids' faces. Although I'm sick of seeing them every day, I'm excited to see them when I first wake up. So I agree, man. Good job. I guess.
Was that also Mr. Rogers? Is that also
man, Mr. Rogers? Mr. Rogers wrote a good portion of the Bible, but they took it out.
Yeah.
Well, hey, before we head on to so we're about to if we're climbing Spice Mountain, theoretically we're about to do some work on it. And so before we do that though, we're going to take a quick little break. We're going to do the sauce here. So whatever your next one is, get it ready. But we're going to juke a little bit and we're going to let you guys, rather than go with the question we've prepared, we want you to throw a question out. And so if you have something that you think is interesting, that you think is a hot take, you want to hear either all of them or one of them specifically dive into, throw it out there. And while we kind of wait for questions to pour in, why don't we introduce our sauces? And so I have Dave's Insanity, and this is a stupidly high jump, and so I'm about 180,000 Scovilles, and so I may die. So I would not chug this for any amount of money, Des. So Adam, what do you got?
All right, I'm amping it up with Jose Pepper's habanero sauce. I couldn't quite unscrew the lid because my hands were sweaty in anticipation.
You don't know the meaning of the word sweaty right now. I'll show you sweaty.
Please don't.
All right. I have the kind of what I would say the OG Louisiana hot sauce. which I'm going to mix because I have too many, with the Hoff sauce, which is actually a local, like Chattanooga, Tennessee sauce that I picked up for my husband. And it says, because he loves it, that's why we have so many hot sauces. But on the side, it says toddler, lightweight, great taste, teary-eyed, and death wish. This is about halfway up between great taste and teary-eyed.
I love that. Guys, we have some great questions pouring in as well. So Nick, Jennifer, and Des, what do you got? And then we'll dive into the questions.
I'm doing what you just did, the egg miso, whatever.
The aka miso, yeah.
You didn't die. You didn't die at all from that. So,
Jennifer, what do you got? A pineapple?
Okay. So pause. I'm so disappointed that the Hoff sauce is not David Hasselhoff's brand of sauce. I was really hoping that's how you were going to end that sentence. No, I'm just eating a raw onion.
That's maybe worse than what we're doing.
Yeah.
I want to see you eat that like nasty gooey stuff from kombucha. People that eat kombucha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Des, what do you got?
Listen, I've got 3 things happening right now. I have a headache. My entire left hand is shaking. I don't know. Is anybody else's hand shaking? Mine's is shaking. This is small axe peppers, habanero, mango hot sauce. Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
All right, so we're going to kind of rapid fire. But, hey, Musto, this question's only for you. So you're the only one that gets this one. Everyone take a bite of your wings. Musto, what do you got? Hot take on the MLB. Should we have sports soon? What do you think?
If you can do it safely, sure. And it's a bad luck to fight over how you're going to split the millions.
Yeah. Ashley, what are your thoughts on preacher sneakers?
Oh my gosh, they are so expensive, preacher sneakers. I think you need to instead buy some $10 shoes, and you need to be making that donation to your charity of choice, because preacher sneakers can get up in the thousands, and at their minimum, they're hundreds. And I just think there are a lot of hungry and thirsty people in the world that we could do better, friends.
All right, Des, who has better theology, John Calvin or Mr. Rogers?
Danny, I can't hang with you anymore, man. I'm dying. I don't know. I don't even know why I talked you into me doing this. Mr.
Rogers.
Listen. I lean to a lot of what John Calvin talks about. I can get with it, but Mr. Rogers, man, it's something about that button-up sweater and those shoes, those loafers. He was the first televised show with a predominantly Caucasian audience to have an African American person on the show. I rock with Mr. Rogers, man.
Do you think he was a sniper?
Definitely do think he was a sniper. I've read those theories, and people refute it like it's not real. I definitely believe he was a sniper. He was too neat. He was obnoxiously neat. His OCD was off the wall. He was a sniper.
Guys, this one's hitting me hard. Jennifer and Nick, here's your question. I can't read it, so you guys got it.
What advice do you have for those looking for hope? How do we hold on to hope? How do we wait patiently on God? Oh, yes. No. No. Yeah, I feel like I don't know if I feel like this is a good serious question. Advice you have for those looking for hope. I mean, I feel like one of my good friends, Brent, is always talking about like mindfulness and just having, taking stock of like what's been going on in your day. And I think if you are someone who can really do that, even if you don't ask that question of like, where's God been in my day? But if you just start like noticing things, sorry, definitely don't use that voice either.
Jennifer's spiritual voice is a Muppet.
Yeah, it is. It's a Muppet. But I think once you start being, kind of paying attention, then you see things that give you hope, and you see how God's at work in and through people all around you. Yeah, I don't know. That's just the first question. Nick, you want to?
Yeah, am I frozen right now, or can you see me okay? Okay, because you all are frozen right now for me. But
We can see you.
I mean, I would say first of all, having hope doesn't mean you have to act like you're happy at all. You know, and you know what's been helpful. I had this mantra come in my head today where I don't know, maybe it was God, but I said I don't know how good this is going to be yet. And I don't know. I think about like my favorite stories to tell right now, like around a dinner table about my life, were not my favorite stories to live through. They were hard, you know. But what's funny is like if people want to know about my life and we're talking and we're having like a great, you know, conversation, I tell stories that were miserable to live through. Does that make sense? You know, but now they've become like so meaningful for me. And so one of the things I do is I try to think that way in the present. Like I know right now, one day we're going to be telling stories about what we learned and what we did and I think that's hope. And in fact, I think hope is about living right now in light of the future you think you're going to have, if that makes any sense.
It sounded like you said something really powerful, but because my mouth is on fire, I didn't even hear.
Yeah, I can't say it more than once.
It sounded really good, though. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus.
I'm going to exit and come back again because y'all are frozen, and it's really weird.
Nick,
I think
we'll see you soon.
Oh, do I? Oh, bye. Well, I think to add to it, sorry if we're still on this question just for 2 more seconds, but I think part of like the whole like project of the Bible is like retelling the stories of what God has done. And I think like when we continue to remember what God has done, it gives us hope for what God is going to do. I know where Paul says, you know, I write to you by way of reminder. You know, you already know these things. I'm going to remind you again, so then you'll have hope when you're in the midst of hard things to look forward to what God's going to do.
I feel really bad for Danny's nonverbal language.
Guys, I don't know what happened.
I'm dying.
I've had this talk before, and it's literally destroying every part of my being right now.
Did you shake it up?
I shook it so good. Holy cow.
Oh. All right, one
Katie,
final
bring
thing
me bread.
One final thing on hope.
Yeah, hit us.
I literally am staring at a beautiful art piece that was given to me. Maybe I'll swing it around. You can see it's like, it looks like kind of a bit of a skeleton, but also flowers. You see that?
I can't see.
And it says, hope is not pretending that troubles do not exist. It is the trust that troubles will not last forever, that hurts will be healed, and that difficulties will be overcome. I just really appreciate it right now. I would literally hung this above my desk so that I could have hope right now.
Yeah.
Man, you guys, I appreciate you guys. You were so good.
Can y'all see me now?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you're all just green boxes. This is fun. That's all I see.
So we're going to go on to our last question. Well, actually, not our last question. We're going to do one because Big Papa Host over here needs a wing to recover. So we're going to do a question while we get ready. But Ashley, can you start us off? You and Jennifer, you're part of the Clergy Caller Project. What's up with all the dudes in the Bible? Let's talk about it. Where are all the women at?
You know what I hate? On obligatory holidays which involve women, when we preach about men in the Bible, it's really hard for me. Also, there are so many women in the Bible, they just don't have any names. So the next time you see me, just call me that woman. Like, I'm all right with that, because apparently they do great ministry, they just don't get named. So like in the New Testament, tons of women, but a few of them are named. And then like there's the book of Esther, which is like really about Mordecai. Right?
It is.
And it's a whole vibe that is not cool at all. So anyway, I just think like there's a lot of stuff that comes out of it. You don't see, like, Jennifer and I are like Pastor Ashley, Pastor Jennifer, but like where are all the Pastor Sarahs, you know, where are all the Pastor Esthers, you know, like we don't have those. But you know how many Pastor Marks and Pastor Matthews and Pastor Johns we have? Like, also, maybe the next generation will have some Pastor Lukes. Who knows? But like, I'm sorry. This is a whole thing for me. Like,
All right, I'll jump in. My dad, when I was young, used to tell me, Adam, you should develop several subjects on which you have no opinion. I will cede my time to Jennifer.
That was nice. That was righteous.
Sorry, you were muted, Jennifer. Hop back in.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Am I back?
You're back.
I just think this question's funny because you can take it a couple ways. What's up with all the dudes in the Bible saying, like, basically every dude in the Bible is super messed up, right? Except for Jesus. I mean, can we talk about David for a second, right? And then the other way of taking this is just like, yeah, there are a million dudes in the Bible. And, a lot of the women are either identified by their husband or where they're from or what they've done, kind of thing. And I think it just, goes back to they were not the writers of the story. Yeah. And that's, the feminist reading of the Bible is to say, like, who's telling the story and who's not being heard, who's not in power here. And gosh, it's such a reminder. We're actually in the middle of a series on women in the Bible. We're calling Wonder Women. I just got to preach on Shiphrah and Puah, the two midwives in Exodus, which was so much fun. But it's just another reminder, again, even the ones who are named, they were not writing their own story. And how we talk about people, and how we, who is in power, who's telling the story, how is it framed, so much of evil and what's in Proverbs? Now I'm totally forgetting the other foolishness, is personified as a woman, and so much of it they're used as tropes and props as a way of talking about the trap that the man can fall into, because that's the audience they were talking to, and that was who was writing. And I think I get on my soapbox about it when people forget that, because it's like, we don't have a lot of women in the Bible because they weren't writing the story. They weren't in power. And this is what happens when people who are in power are the ones telling the story. They overlook the vulnerable. They overlook the people who don't have a voice, and they think the story is only about them. And I think it's a very good warning for all of us, women, men, whatever, to not be so self-absorbed and think that God's only talking to us and God's only using us and whatever. And it's actually like, hey, God's been working through all of these people. So
yeah, it's a good word. All right, you guys ready for the final question?
I didn't get to give my input on that.
Yeah,
I meant to say, Des, what's your input on this one?
Oh, yeah. I did a whole series on like women in the Bible, so this is like close to me. When you consider
Bye, Nick.
Oh, bye, Nick.
He's not into women in the Bible. Just kidding, guys. He really is. Just so everyone knows that. Very pro women in ministry and in the Bible. Go ahead, Des.
When you still look at when you look at the Old Testament and New Testament, women weren't even second-class citizens, and so to Ashley's point, the narrative is only given by the victor or the one that controls the pen, and it kind of paints the woman as not necessary, only for childbirth, right? Or because, like a situation with Sarai, her blessing came because she followed her husband. But I think if we focus more on like the fact that when Jesus rose from the tomb, the first person that saw him was a woman. The first woman that carried the gospel was a woman. Like that stuff gets me super excited because I'm all about like women having their place in life and walking in purpose, and us fellas acknowledging that and like not ever trying to. I love the fact that when she carried, I'm sorry, I'm getting super passionate about it, but when she carried the message to the disciples and they open that door, man, to that room, they receive the words that she said about our Savior being risen. And if we would just like, what if they would have said, no, you're a woman and he can't be risen? Like what would have happened to the history of the church? And I think if we're just more open to that, anybody can share the gospel, anybody can hear from God. No, it doesn't matter the gender, man. This world, our church, the church of God, will be in such a better place.
Preach.
That's good.
Send me your tithes and offerings.
That's good. No, that's a good word, man. So, hey, we're going to go into the last one because my stomach has finally stopped freaking out. And so our last wing is worse. I've got Dave's Insanity Ghost Pepper. We got Nick Cunningham coming back on. And so we got this sauce. Mine is 6. Sadly, this last one was like 200. This is 650,000 Scoville. So I may die. Adam, what do you got?
Danny, I'm with you, and I think that people need to know that on the label of this here Dave's Ghost Pepper Sauce, it says, "This is a delicious addition to most any food. It is also a great industrial cleaner and grease remover."
What?
Hey,
Okay,
it's gonna hit us hard.
Danny, I don't think I know how to count because this was supposed to be 5 for me. So anyway, I guess we're on 5. So I'm with you here, and I'm going to cry.
Yeah, you're gonna cry. Nick, what do you got? I muted you. Come back on. You got the same one?
Same.
Jennifer, what are you rocking?
Alive. Sorry.
Des?
I want to shout out Scoville Brothers. They're manufactured right here in Northern Indiana. This hot sauce is called Heavy Metal Heat. If you yearn for the burn, this is my number 5. This is the one that's taking us home. Man.
All right, guys. And so I always feel like a little bit like just weird doing this, but we're going to dive into an important question. And so the whole reason I'm doing this is not only to talk to great friends, but because something like 70% of any general population doesn't want to go to church as it currently exists. And so we want to be able to tell the hope of the gospel and the story to people that may never hear it in ways where everyone's invited. So as we go around, I just want you to share why Jesus matters. That's the question. And so you get a soapbox as long as you need. And whoever wants to go first, we'll see who gets hit the hardest. But friends, let's dab these wings up and let's dive in. Who's going first after that?
Is this too much?
That's a lot.
You're gonna die. Jesus matters
because
he saved you, because you're gonna die.
Oh no, I did it again.
I just smelled it and I choked.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I have to use the bathroom.
I need my bread.
Like immediately, I have to use the bathroom.
I'm just gonna eat my bread.
Not all at once, guys.
Oh my God.
I can't eat.
My lips burn like the fires of hell.
My arm is shivering right now.
Your arm.
I need like an aloe plant to put on my lips.
I feel like I totally didn't even. I took a nibble. I think I need to take a bite.
Why does
Get
it
in there.
matter? I'm about to find out.
Oh man.
Jennifer, why don't you kick us off because you're rocking Lime Zone.
Yeah. I am okay over here at the sour lime. Yeah, Jesus matters because of all the things I feel like we've already said tonight, because of paying attention to women, paying attention to the vulnerable, doing the radical thing, and loving our neighbor, and going against kind of the mainstream in a lot of ways. That I feel like you can go on Pinterest, you can go on YouTube, you can hear some really cool, inspirational things. You can read really wonderful books about making your life better and living your best life now or whatever. But you can't really find the hope that Jesus offers, that this is not all there is, that it doesn't really matter how many, like, I don't know, packs you have on your stomach. none of that matters. That it's actually that Jesus came to give you a new life and a different kind of life, and one that never ends, where you get to be surrounded by love that you would never experience of your own making. So I don't know. I feel like I almost went into funeral mode for a second. I do a lot of funerals.
Well, somebody's about to die, so that's appropriate.
Yeah.
That's appropriate.
I have the bread.
He has the bread.
Musto, what do you got for us, man?
At the moment, not a lot.
Is anybody else hot? Are you hot? Having like a hot flash or something?
I'm not wearing any pants right now, so I'm good.
Information.
Is that why your laptop keeps cutting off?
Yes.
All right. Danny, actual theological content.
Hey, no, you do what you do, you boo.
I got it. I may need to exit the screen in a moment as well.
That was the worst idea you ever had, Danny.
No one in history besides Jesus has been able to say not just do as I say. Jesus said do as I do. And no one else in history has lasted like Jesus has. What's he say? Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. He's the only one who's legitimate in his message, and he's the only one whose message matters for eternity. Boom.
Kirk, you back?
I do have tears in my eyes. I also have a visual change of my lips. They are like, it looks like I have coral lipstick on now because they are burning so bad. It's okay though. I'll work through it. So, why does Jesus matter? So for me, bye, Jennifer.
They died. Did everybody leave?
Everybody's going away.
This is like Survivor. Oh, it's just.
Guys, I don't know what just happened. I guess. Okay. Are we back?
What was that?
Resurrection!
Resurrection!
Guys, I survived. I'm the only one who survived.
You won. You won the contest. You won
the rapture.
It's the rapture, and you're Nicolas Cage.
It's probably because I was about to say why Jesus mattered, so I was like, true heart.
No, I tried to blow your. You said you had the red hot lipstick. I was trying to make you the center screen.
Let me help you with that.
Yeah,
it's just really, really red. Anyway, okay, so this sauce unfortunately gets hotter and hotter and hotter. It's now been maybe 3 minutes, and it's suffering more and more. So anyway, answering why does Jesus matter? So for me, one of the theological things that has been sitting with me most during COVID is that the incarnation is absolutely important. That showing up in person is by far one of the most human needs that we have. So God showing up in the flesh, super big deal. And so for me, I think just being able to today I saw some people for the first time outside of my husband, and it was just amazing to look at another person in the eye, to see their expression live, right? And it just means a lot. And so the fact that God would work that hard for us is a big deal. I think that's why Jesus matters.
I dig it.
Can you please write the book, The Incarnation is a Super Big Deal?
Oh, yeah. For COVID, the year of COVID.
Yeah,
I'll definitely be writing my book during this, apparently, because we're all
we failed coronavirus if we haven't written a book or cleaned our house or made bread.
Or started a video show where you eat stupid spicy wings and your stomach explodes. So, hey, Nick, what do you got for us? You're a pastor. Tell us about Jesus.
I had a day today where I was strongly considering what else I could do with my life besides being a pastor? How else could I pay for things for my kids, make a living? I'm not sure I always buy into it. I'm just going to be really honest. I'm not. You know what keeps me hanging on is I'm not sure. No, I can say this. I am sure of one thing is that the way of Jesus is the most beautiful way to live. And I'm so sure of that I'm even okay with being wrong about it. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just being really frank. I struggle with a lot of the things. You talk about incarnation, and I'm like, sure, I trust that, but really? I mean, it's a part of my life, and I incorporate it in how I live, but I think the only thing that really convinces me Jesus matters is the way of life Jesus invites us into, because there's nothing as radical as that. I haven't found anything as radical as that. Who says to his enemies who's crucifying him, you know, Father, forgive them. I'm like, what? Like, Jesus, the way of Jesus calls everything into question. Everything into question. Everything into question. And for me, that's like the only thing I can actually buy into, because everything else, I feel like people are just trying to sell me something. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'm at with it today.
Yeah, man. It's good. Anyone else want to jump in?
Yeah, I'll go. Listen. So I'm a very avid believer in therapy, and so I went to my doctor the other day, yesterday, and he's actually of the Muslim faith. And whenever we go, like after our session or after we kind of have my meeting or whatever, we just kind of we talk about the Quran and we talk about the Bible. And so this conversation went for about 45 minutes. And he was talking about Jesus as just, and of course, in the Muslim faith, they believe that he is not a part of what we would call the Trinity. He's not a part of the Father. He is a prophet. He's just a prophet like Moses was, or Muhammad. But they do believe in the divinity of how he was born through the conception of Mary. And I pondered that as I left the office. And I remember getting in my car and saying to myself, I'm so glad that my faith tells me that Christ was not only born of a woman, that he was a man, but the fact that he came literally has the same DNA as our God, that him and the Father are one. That means I don't have to go to a priest or a pastor or anybody to go to God on my behalf. Like, Jesus matters the most to me is because he gave me access to my Abba, to my Father. He gave me access, man. And if it was not for that, I would kind of be on the outskirts waiting to get in, or needing somebody else to kind of lead me in. But because of that sacrifice, because of my Savior, I can do that on my own. And so that's really what he means to me.
It's good, man. I appreciate that. That's good stuff.
I'm dead, so I don't even know what I just said right now. I'm like high, I'm drunk, I'm all types of things right now.
We're all in heaven right now.
I don't even know why. Yeah, we're dead. We're all dead. We died. We just left the screen, so we had to die.
Well, I mean, Nick might have. He got raptured because you're frozen again.
Am I frozen again?
But hey, here's the deal, guys. I want to thank the five of you for joining me. And I want to give you the final take, the last dip, so to speak. And so this is your soapbox, your chance to share. Maybe you have something cool like a creative project. Maybe you have a book that you just decided you wanted to write. Maybe you just want to share a word of hope. I don't know. And so, Ashley, do you want to start us? Do you have anything awesome going on that this is your soapbox, sisters?
Did Nick leave again?
He'll be back.
Okay, fine. That's fine. I'm gonna second Jennifer on Clergy Collar Project on Instagram. It's something we're really passionate about, and it's sharing real stories about females in ministry. And so if you've ever wondered, I would follow them. We need lots of male allies, obviously. So yeah, follow us there. That's the soapbox item for me.
Cool. Guys, you got anything exciting coming up? Anything you want to share?
I'm going to be kind of honest, man. I looked up Clergy Collar from our last conversation, and it's pretty dope, man. I've been looking at it, and I just want to shine some light on that. So go support that. I remember I came up in a very traditional church, and so every first Sunday we had to wear black suits and these thick clergy collars. And Yeah, I hated it. But I love what you are doing, and I love the movement. I love the message, and I think people should go and support that. So go to Instagram and look up. No, we're going to do this right now. We're going to do all of this. You're going to get all of this love. Look, I want you to pull out your phones, people, and look up Clergy Collar Project. Boom. This is what it's going to look like right there. And you follow. If you follow, she might send you a chicken wing.
I like it. All right, Jennifer, what do you got? I mean, we might go 3 for 3 on Clergy Collar Project.
I mean, I might as well here. I mean, I think the whole point, I mean, obviously we want to support women in ministry, but really the whole thing behind it is that it's uncensored, unedited stories that are crowdsourced. So people just submit them and we literally just repost. And it's been the coolest thing to watch because there is power in sharing our stories. It's healing. It's creates a community. It brings us together. And there's been some really cool stuff happen because of it. Just recently, we did some graduation stuff on the stories, and a couple high schoolers commented that they had never known there were so many ways for women to be in ministry, and that they had been sensing God's call in the ministry, and were thankful to see different opportunities. And so I'm really thankful that it's been doing that work for us, which has been really cool. If another person, another woman, anybody can see the different ways and to be in ministry, we have done our job there. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I will say at my wedding, Evie met and did my wedding, and a girl who was like 12 years old came up afterwards and said, that she had never seen a woman pastor. And so it was funny. She carried a Bible around her house for the next week because she was being a pastor and a preacher. So it was cool.
It's
to
really
see
cool.
People in that position. Yeah. We can't take that for granted because
also,
you forget how.
Thank you. We just got 3 follows because of this. So good job. Thanks, friend. Yeah.
All right, Musto, you got anything cool to talk about?
Well, 2 things. I don't know how to follow any of that. And Dave's ghost pepper got me tripping.
All right. Well, Nick, we're just kind of doing a final farewell. So do you have anything you want to just share you got going on in your life?
Honestly, this has been great right here. This thing right here. I hope this becomes something besides just, a bunch of random people eating really hot wings. I hope we all stay connected because I don't know. It's a little lonely leaving the Methodist Church and missing that connection. So this has been really nice. Thank you.
Hey, you're still adjacent, baby.
Hey, baby.
Methodist adjacent.
Well, okay, cool. Everybody go on Facebook and look up Nick Cunningham and friend him.
Oh, no, you made him leave.
He really needs us now.
Well, hey, for our friends that are still watching, I want to invite you to join Hot Thoughts, the community, and follow Hot Thoughts on Instagram if you haven't. And then join me next week for Hot Thoughts Volume 3. These people were amazing, and next week we have another amazing group. We have Pastor Rachel Billups from Ginghamsburg Church. We have the leaders of the Table Network, which is a church planting group in Florida.
Oh, my
I do, yeah.
That's my guy. I got super excited. I'm sorry. I love it.
Yeah, so we're going to get those guys on here. And then we have Sarah Heath, who is a pastor out in Southern California. And so I'm excited for that one. We're going to be talking about the future of the church in a COVID world. And so if you're wondering what your church might look like, or faith or community, next week will be a fun one as the 4 of us or 5 of us dive into that. And so, yeah, thank you guys for joining us. I'll be honest with you, since about 44 minutes, I've been pushing throw it back down. And so I'm gonna sign off, and I'm gonna go find the nearest toilet in my house. But friends, this was real. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thanks for doing this, Danny.
Yeah.